Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Luga. Thanks so much for being here Monday, November 10th. Right now, we are fixing the Jaguars for 2026. Look, I'm making this show because I think that there are a lot of personnel issues with the Jaguars. I think that there's some things they can do to get better on the personnel side, but I think a lot of people are feeling broken and hopeless and upset about the Jaguars. So I just wanted to kind of take a look at the off season, and I don't think the Jaguars are out of it. If the playoffs started today, they're in the playoffs. They're 5-4. Everything's in front of them. They have games against the Titans, the Jets, right? Upcoming game against the Chargers with no offensive tackles. But I understand people are. I'm disappointed about that loss. That was unfathomable. We've talked about it a lot. We'll continue talking about it. But I just wanted to do a fun exercise. I've had some people asking me questions about the future, and I haven't studied the draft to this point as much as I normally do. Been more focused on other things. But I think this is fun. I go through players we're cutting to create cap space, adding some void years to other players to create more cap space, extensions, bringing outside free agents in, the draft, etc. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. If you enjoy the content here, please like and subscribe. You can also check out GenJag.com, pick up some new Duval gear, help support the channel, and look good while doing it. So the Jaguars right now are projected to have $7.5 million in cap space for 2026. We're going to create some more cap space for sure. Now, part of the Jaguars' issues right now are not personnel. I think the Jaguars coaches did a bad job in the fourth quarter in a lot of ways, and that really was a problem for the Jags. But I am still at the point where I don't think you're getting rid of Camp until you give him better personnel, until he has a healthy team and then can't get it done. We'll see. Obviously, I'm still all in on Liam Cohen, all in on James Gladstone. So that's where I'm at with the coaching. We're cutting Johnny Munt. That's getting us to about $10 million in cap space. We're cutting Hunter Long. That's getting us to about $12 million in cap space. Look, those guys, if they're your bottom of the roster tight end, sure. I think they're too inconsistent. We're cutting Chuma Edoga. He's a walk-in penalty. You just can't have that on the field. That gets you to $15 million in cap space. We're adding void years to players we feel good about and players I feel good about right now, contrary to many opinions out there. Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, Eric Murray, Robert Hainsey. That creates about $20 million more. And you could say you're adding, this is kind of like arbitrary and it could be whatever, but I'm just saying with those four players, we're adding a total of 8 void years, 2 years to each player, and creating about $20 million in cap space. That's going to be a negligible amount of money. The cap is rising every year. And so I'm good with that. And I'm good with making sure that I feel like I can have those guys around at least a couple more years. I think Eric Murray and Hainsey have been really good value free agents. I think that Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines-Allen, despite what some people want to believe, are still pillars of the franchise. You extend Trayvon Walker, and that's a really interesting one, right? Because it's like, how much do you extend him for? Aiden Hutchinson, who got taken after Trayvon Walker, just got paid, and paid handsomely. Over $40 million per year. Unless Trayvon Walker goes crazy down the stretch, which is possible, I don't think you're getting anywhere close to that. I think you're getting under 30. I think you're like in the $25 million range right now for Trayvon if he was going to do an extension. And maybe for him, it would be best to just wait. And he might want to do that, but he might also be comfortable taking an early extension and getting that bag secured. I don't know. I would like to extend him, keep the 5th-year option on that deal, reduce his cap hit for 2026 from $15 million down to about $8 million, saves you 7 more million. So we've created 20 million with the void years. You already had 15. You create 7 more with Trayvon. You're at about $42 million in cap space. You can figure out if you want to extend Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington, that crew of guys. I probably would try to go ahead and do that. It won't negatively impact your current cap. I would love to do that. They'll be eligible for contract extensions after year 3. You're also going to cut Eric Armstead post June 1. It's going to give you about $14.5 million after June 1, which you can use to sign your draft picks and make moves later on. But it's not going to give you that cap space immediately. Now, am I dead set on cutting Eric Armstead for the Jaguars? No. He actually led the team in pressures yesterday, and he's leading the team in sacks, and he's having a pretty good year. But he's getting paid to have like a great year. And he's also up there in age, and it's also just a contract that, again, you can save a lot of cap space by moving on. And I think you should try to kind of recreate the interior of the defensive line in a lot of ways. I think you need to try to put your own stamp on it if you're James Gladstone, Liam Cohen. But you've still got $42 million in cap space going into re-signing your own players that are on expiring contracts and then signing free agents. We're re-signing a lot of our own players if I'm running things, if I'm James Gladstone. I'm re-signing Greg Newsome, Jacoby Myers, Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne, Buster Brown. Buster Brown for me is going to be our third outside corner, somebody who can come in and play, but you want Travis Hunter out there more often than not. And there will be competition after the draft for that third spot as well, for that competition, for when Travis Hunter is getting a breather, whatever. Re-signing Newsome, 3 years, $18 million, something in that range, might be less. I don't know. $7 million cap hit. I was pretty generous with these deals, I think. Jacoby Myers, 3 years, $16 million per year. That's like a $6 million cap hit. My general rule here is about 40% of the average annual value is what I make the year 1 cap hit. The Jaguars are, and most teams do it that have money, which the Jaguars have lots of money, thanks to Shad Khan. You write a very big signing bonus that gets prorated over the length of the contract. So your year 1 cap hit isn't very big. So Newsome year 1 cap hit is $7 million. That gets you down to $35. Myers year 1 cap hit $6 million. That gets you down to $29. Devin Lloyd 3 years, $18 million. That's right in the range with some of the top linebackers that get paid. $7 million cap hit. So from Newsome gets you to 35, Myers to 29, Lloyd to 22, Travis Etienne 2 years, $12 million. I think that's about what the going rate would be. That's a $5 million cap hit. Buster Brown, like 2 years, $3.5 million per year, about a $1 million cap hit. Still got about like $16 million to sign some free agents. And I'm not going to go crazy signing free agents. I'm really not. I think a lot of what you need is in the building and looking at it in the draft. And look, my needs, now that we've done all that, left tackle, interior defensive line, another tight end, maybe some backup edge guys. You might have them already. You don't know how Strigow and Green will end up playing out, but you probably need some more. So in free agency, or before free agency, we're going to trade for Josh Oliver. 4th round pick. Bring Josh Oliver back, the 2019 Jaguars 3rd round pick. Send a 4th round pick to the Vikings. They don't need to have Josh Oliver. They could use the draft capital. Reduce his cap hit down to about $5 million per year with a void year or two. And now you have 2 ass kickers at tight end who are also really good athletes, Strange and Oliver. And I think that can help you create more of an identity offensively. You're not getting your left tackle in free agency, unfortunately. You're just not going to be able to find a high-quality starter at the left tackle position. And look, Walker Little's horrible. He has been horrible this year. There's definitely been times throughout his career where he's played a lot better than he's playing right now. Big free agent, I'd be looking at a defensive lineman. John Franklin Myers, that could definitely work for me. He's tough. He's gritty. He can rush the passer. He can defend the run. He can play, over the tackle. He can play inside the tackle. I would like him a lot. About $15 million per year. He's 29 years old. He'll turn 30 next year. About a $6 million cap hit. So you still got about $5 million of cushion to play with. And you take that and you get to the draft. And I think you're looking, obviously, at some combination of left tackle, paramount, defensive line, multiple picks, cornerback as well. But you've got to I think if you get the trenches right, that a lot of the problems get solved. But there is still questions about the coaching, questions about when can they get these penalties cleaned up, etc. But yeah, I'd be looking, you have 4 day 2 picks right now. 3 third-round picks and a second-round pick. I'd be looking at some combination, if it works out, with the value of the players that are on the board. I'd be looking at some combination of left tackle, defensive line, cornerback. I wouldn't be mad if they walk away from day 2 of the draft with an offensive tackle, 2 defensive linemen, and a corner that they feel good about. That would be a lot of fun. So at quarterback, you have Lawrence. Running back, you still have Etienne, Tootin, and Allen. I love that trio. Absolutely love it. At receiver, you have Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr. Maybe you bring Tim Patrick back on a really small deal. De'Ami Brown definitely not back with the Jags. At tight end, your top 2 are Brenton Strange and Josh Oliver, which is, I think, pretty exciting. At offensive line, I'm fine with rolling with Robert Hainsey at center still. Ezra Cleveland, I think, has been good. I think I would like to replace McCary in the starting lineup with Wyatt Milam. Anton Harrison, obviously, at right tackle. So to me, you have a day 2 pick competing with Walker Little and hopefully beating out Walker Little. You really need that. Maybe Wyatt Milam's competing over at left tackle too. I don't know. Can he? He did it at West Virginia. Can he do it for you in the NFL? I don't know. McCary and Monheim as top depth pieces. Maybe a Cole Van Lanen still there. I don't know. But that's basically your offensive line. Defensively, you've still got Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker. You bring in John Franklin Myers. That's big. Devon Hamilton is a very good interior run defender, and you've got some draft picks as well and some other young guys. I mean, Jalen McLeod could potentially be involved. As I mentioned, Danny Strigow, BJ Green, Gardeck. That's what you're looking at up front. And you would really be expecting those young guys that you're talking about in the draft, potentially 2 on day 2, plus John Franklin Myers to make a big difference. Devin Lloyd, Foye Oluokun, Ventrell Miller, Jack Kaiser, right? Linebacker spot, off-ball linebacker spot. Maybe you talk about Gardeck and McLeod there, but, that's where we're at. Corner, Travis Hunter, Greg Newsome, Buster Brown, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones, a day 2 pick, in my opinion, competing to be that person that gives that player that gives Travis Hunter a break when he needs it. At safety, you've got Eric Murray, you've got Caleb Ransaw coming back, you've got Rayon Lane, probably a day 3 pick on safety. I mean, I would be fine with day 2 if they find one that they really value. But probably a day 3 pick as well to come in and compete at safety. Andrew Wingard, final year of his deal. I don't know that you bring him back. Maybe you do. I wouldn't have a problem with him being a depth player. I don't think you should go into 2026 with him as a starter. That's where I'm at. A lot can change, but if I'm trying to forecast the future and what I would be doing if I was running the show with the Jaguars for 2026, I think that's where I would be. I still think this team has a lot of talent. If they could stop beating themselves with penalties and other dumb mistakes, I mean, this is a team that should be 7-2 right now. At worst, 6-3. But they beat themselves up. I think coaching was really bad at the end of the game yesterday. You're playing off coverage, so Davis Mills getting the ball out in 2 seconds or less 99% of the time. There's no time for the pass rush to get there. Just easy pitch and catch for Davis Mills. You're not helping Walker Little out. And, ideally Liam Cohen wouldn't be needing to help Walker Little out every single play. But that's what he needed, and they weren't doing it enough. So it's tough. It's tough. But I think that fixing the trenches is priority number one. I think everything else can kind of build off of that. But if you go get a left tackle of the future or just a tackle in general, I mean, Anton can play left tackle. Go get a tackle to pair with Anton. Maybe draft some depth on the interior or potential starters down the road. But I like Monheim and Milam. I think Cleveland's good. I think Hainsey's good. I think McCary is a good swing player. Obviously, they're paying McCary to be more than a swing player, but I think you could have him as a expensive swing player for one more year. That's fine. Doing a lot of work to the defensive line and to the left tackle spot. And then I think corner can definitely be worked on as well. Those are my big things. And, getting another ass kicker at tight end would be fun. Keeping a lot of the guys you have that are making big plays for you. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.